In addition to traditional burial, as in many countries, the new millennium has brought a significant increase in the popularity of cremation. In the early 2000s, this method of burial accounted for only 13% of all funerals, but today it has grown to 55%. This dramatic shift reflects changing societal attitudes toward burial rituals and the influence of a number of factors, from economic to cultural. The crematorium is equipped with several furnaces, each reaching temperatures of over 1,000 degrees Celsius. Such high temperatures are necessary to completely convert a body into ashes. Thanks to automation and sophisticated computer control, the entire process is strictly regulated, ensuring maximum safety and the absence of unpleasant odors. Mechanized coffin loading using special carts and elevators eliminates unnecessary physical effort and reduces staff contact with the bodies, improving hygiene. Cremation lasts approximately an hour and a half on average, but the weight and casket of the deceased play a significant role. Wooden caskets burn fully and evenly, while plastic and particle board materials can pose a challenge. The furnace nozzles clog, requiring additional maintenance and repairs. Cremation staff are especially meticulous when cremating children, as the furnace is pre-cooled to prevent the ashes from escaping at extreme temperatures. It's important to note that cremation is performed exclusively with the coffin. Bodies are not removed from the coffin before being placed in the furnace, and the procedure is strictly individualized, with one coffin in the furnace per cycle. All crematorium operations are under constant video surveillance, preventing any violations and ensuring respectful treatment of the deceased. Operators also regularly monitor the flame and temperature, considering this process not only a technological step, but also a kind of purification ritual. During the cremation, the staff open the furnace's damper every 10 minutes to stir the ashes, describing the heat-resistant window as a place where all the deceased's earthly emotions and experiences are burned away. This image helps them cope with the emotional burden and see their work as more than just a technical task, but part of the soul's transition to the next world. After the cremation is complete, bone fragments remain, which after cooling are ground in a special cremulator, turning into uniform ash. The ashes are bagged and placed in urns, confirming the integrity and individuality of each deceased with seals and burial certificates, thus eliminating the possibility of confusion. The urn's capacity corresponds to the volume of ashes, and the entire procedure plays a crucial role in the process of farewell and subsequent preservation of the remains. However, in some cases, when the ashes are not claimed by relatives, the crematorium stores these urns for up to 3 years, after which exhumation and burial in common graves under a memorial marker proceeds. The staff at the Minsk crematorium have encountered many unusual incidents. Coffins are sometimes filled with kitchen utensils, alcohol, phones, and other items strictly prohibited from cremation. Pacemakers and radioactive implants are always removed from the body before cremation to prevent equipment failure and ensure the integrity of the process. Even at this stage, the staff's professionalism is demonstrated by their attentiveness and responsible adherence to rules, which contributes to the institution's reputation. Sergei is one of those who prepares the bodies of the deceased for cremation. A conversation with him reveals an important aspect of working at a crematorium: emotional fortitude, attention to detail, and respect for the people they accompany on their final journey. Having started out as a hospital orderly, he wasn't afraid of the dead and saw his work as part of helping others, although he admits that the cold of a body in a freezer sometimes caused him discomfort. Now he's a professional who ensures a dignified and respectful farewell. Ivan, a cremation furnace operator, was initially nervous about the number of coffins he encountered for the first time, and he struggled to overcome his inner barriers. Over time, he got used to it and now views the process as work, separating it from personal emotions. The cremation of children is particularly distressing, but he understands his role in this cycle of life. For him, such work is not just a technical task, but part of a transition and closure, which is reflected in his calm and professionalism. Working at a crematorium is associated with significant emotional stress, so management focuses on creating comfortable conditions for employees to recover. Showers, restrooms, and a gym help the team cope with this difficult and important mission. Furthermore, a petting zoo creates an additional atmosphere of warmth and comfort, maintaining the staff's emotional well-being. There are examples of innovative approaches to cremation around the world. In some Scandinavian countries such as Denmark and Sweden, heat from cremation ovens is used to heat homes through the district heating system. This is both environmentally friendly and cost-effective, making funeral services more sustainable. This approach inspires reflection on the future of funeral services and the implementation of new technologies that can benefit not only rituals but also the conservation of the planet's resources. The specifics of cremation also depend on the deceased's condition during life. For example, people with cancer require longer cremation times as tumor tissue burns with a flickering blue flame, which is noticeable and attracts the attention of staff. The bodies of thin people, on the other hand, burn faster, but sometimes there is a shortage of fuel for the flame. People with tuberculosis and drug addicts also pose a challenge to cremation operators, as their dehydrated bodies alter combustion conditions and require a special approach. The country with the highest cremation rate is Japan, where almost all deceased people undergo this process. According to statistics from 1929, the cremation rate reached almost 100%, largely due to cultural traditions and limited burial space. This fact prompts reflection on the experiences of other countries and how memorial practices are changing in the modern world. The next section will delve into the technical features and design of cremation equipment, revealing the secrets of automation and the technologies that underpin the modern cremation process. This knowledge helps us understand how we've managed to combine respect for tradition with innovation in the funeral services industry. The technological process of cremation and the specifics of crematorium operation. The Minsk crematorium is equipped with state-of-the-art technology that ensures the full cremation process with the highest degree of precision and safety. 4 furnaces, operating at temperatures exceeding 1000 degrees Celsius, are designed to efficiently convert the bodies of the deceased into ashes. Each furnace is equipped with an automated system controlled by specialized software, minimizing human intervention and reducing the likelihood of errors. The entire cremation facility has a powerful ventilation system that eliminates odors and maintains impeccable cleanliness, creating conditions that meet hygienic standards. The coffin loading process is fully mechanized and occurs using specialized carts and an elevator, ensuring careful and safe handling at every stage. Cremation time varies, but typically takes an hour and a half. The weight of the deceased significantly affects the duration, as heavier loads require more time for complete cremation. Furthermore, the material the coffin is made from plays a significant role. Wooden coffins burn best, while plastic and MDF coffins can clog furnace nozzles, causing equipment failure. When cremating children, the technology requires additional precautions. Small bodies are cremated after adults, and the furnace is given time to cool beforehand. This is necessary to prevent the ashes from being expelled along with hot gases under the high temperature. This approach demonstrates attention to every detail and respect for the memory of each person. Operator Sergei, who prepares bodies for cremation, notes that, despite the complex nature of the work, he manages to maintain professionalism and pays due attention to the intricacies of the ritual. The cremation process is strictly individualized and takes place exclusively in coffins. Bodies are not permitted to be removed from the coffins, eliminating the possibility of mixing the remains. The furnaces are under 24-hour video surveillance throughout their operation. All coffin movements and staff actions are monitored. Every 10 minutes, specialists open the furnace damper to stir the ashes, which promotes even combustion. The flame is observed through a small heat-resistant window, which, according to the staff, symbolizes the passing of all emotions and experiences of a person leaving this world. At the end of the process, unburned bone fragments and ashes remain in the kiln. After cooling, they are collected in an ash pit where the equipment is cleaned. The remains are then placed in a special machine called a cremulator, which resembles a coffee grinder. A rotating drum with metal balls crushes large fragments, turning them into a uniform powder. This is the final product of cremation, ashes, which weigh approximately the same as a person's birth weight. Vladimir, the furnace operator, emphasizes that he is always amazed by the precision of the equipment and the uniqueness of this stage. The ashes are placed in a bag with an identification register attached, then transferred to an urn and carefully sealed. The entire process with the urns is meticulously planned down to the smallest detail. The volume of each urn corresponds to the volume of ashes. Nothing spills or gets lost. The urn is handed over to the family at a pre-arranged time, thus ensuring respectful treatment of the deceased's memory. Ivan, the employee responsible for issuing the urns, notes that for many families this moment is of great significance and helps them cope with grief with greater emotional support. Sometimes ashes remain unclaimed. Currently, the crematorium stores approximately 500 such urns. The law allows for their storage for no more than 3 years, after which relatives are notified of the expiration of the storage period. In 80% of cases, the urns are never claimed. In these cases, a collective burial is organized in a common grave, containing no more than 40 urns. A memorial marker is erected at the site of such a grave, and a list of the names of the deceased is kept by the cemetery administration. This method respectfully resolves the issue of unclaimed ashes without violating ethical standards or the law. Amusing incidents often arise from unexpected items found in coffins. Kitchen utensils, cans of food, coins, cosmetics, or bottles of alcohol. However, the use of radioactive implants, pacemakers, and other dangerous objects is strictly prohibited, as they can damage equipment or injure workers. Such items are always removed before cremation, requiring special care and professionalism from the staff. Alexander, a leading engineer, says he carefully checks each batch of coffins to eliminate any potential risks. The funeral service before cremation takes place in one of the crematorium's 3 funeral halls, attended by funeral directors who help organize this moment with the utmost dignity. After the ceremony, the coffin containing the body is lowered to the work floor via elevator, where it is sealed and the deceased's passport is issued. All subsequent operations are carried out strictly according to the documents, completely eliminating any improper handling of the ashes. Natalia, the funeral services supervisor, assures that the control system is aimed at ensuring maximum respect and safety at every stage. The work of crematorium workers is often associated with particular psychological stress. Sergei shared his experience of initial adaptation when he felt uneasy touching the cold bodies of the deceased, which caused discomfort. However, the support of his colleagues and specialized training help him maintain emotional stability. Ivan, a machine operator, admits that despite his professionalism, he finds it particularly difficult to restrain himself when handling the bodies of newborns. Both note that proper working conditions and caring management help maintain a balance between feelings and responsibilities. Particular attention is paid to equipment maintenance. Ivan began his career as a mechanic, repairing furnaces, elevators, and heat exchangers before transitioning to a machinist. This transition allows him to utilize his in-depth technical knowledge to improve the reliability and safety of the process. Automation debugging, regular diagnostics, and timely equipment repairs ensure cremation is as efficient and trouble-free as possible. The staff is constantly improving their skills and learning new technologies to meet modern standards. The crematorium is also implementing innovative methods and practices from other countries. In some European cities, such as Denmark and Sweden, the heat generated during cremation is used to heat homes and produce hot water. This practical solution not only reduces emissions, but also saves resources, setting a model for other institutions. Similar ideas are just beginning to be discussed in Minsk, and the potential implementation of such systems could be a significant step forward in environmental responsibility. It's clear that cremation time varies depending on individual circumstances. For example, the process takes longer for cancer patients due to irregular combustion of tumor tissue, which produces an unusual bluish tint. Cremation time also increases for thin individuals who lack the internal fuel for rapid combustion. Particularly challenging are cremations for patients with tuberculosis or drug addiction due to dehydration during life. All these nuances are taken into account by cremation operators when monitoring the process. These facts highlight the complexity and uniqueness of each case the crematorium faces. This is why professionalism and attention to detail are integral to their work. Experienced staff like Sergei, Ivan, and Alexander, with their sensitive and thoughtful work, ensure the deceased and their families are treated with dignity during this difficult time. Their work deserves respect as they embody the balance between technological capabilities and human compassion. Moving on to the next stage, it's worth noting that the technological process of cremation is only part of a larger system, including the organization of the ritual and the emotional and psychological support of relatives. These aspects are explored in the second part of the narrative, where we learn more about preparation for the farewell and the specific social significance of the ceremony.